Hello, my name is Bill. I'm going to prove to everyone that there are 361 degrees in a circle, and right now I'm probably the only human being is going to show you why. If I asked you how many lines are on this piece of paper, you're going to say 0. Okay, there's no lines on this piece of paper. If I asked you how many lines are on this piece of paper, we'll see it better this way. There's 1 line on here. Okay, if you add 1 line plus 359 lines, that's 360 lines. But we're going around in a circle. So we're adding this 1 line, which is called 0, and we're adding 360 lines. So we're actually adding a total of 361 lines. 361 lines in a circle. 361 0 degrees in a circle. You can call every one of these lines a 0, or you can call it a 1. It's 1 line. It goes to the center. You could call this all 1 line. So this protractor was given to us wrongly, incorrectly, whatever you want to call it. There should be no 0 on here because this is a line. And this causes a problem for surveyors. Okay, and there's already enough problems with surveyors, and I'm going to show you this. This should be line 1 because it is 1 line, and then every line afterwards should follow. So surveyors are actually using 91 lines to get to 90 degrees. We already have a problem with minutes and seconds because surveyors should not be fractions or minutes and seconds. I'm going to show you this survey. My surveyor forgot the degrees on here, but I found them anyway on the subdivision map, and just half a block away there's a survey. This is 0 degrees. I either go east or I go west. So I'm going west. This surveyor did rebar in my property. I'll be showing that in a minute. I'm going to line this up. I'm going to show you 80 degrees. And it just so happens, if I line up that 80 degrees on this corner, I also get you my other degrees, which is 9 degrees. We don't need minutes and seconds or fractions because a degree is very small. You can use a pen. 1 degree is very, very small. To say that there's 3,600 seconds in a degree is stupid. There's no minutes and seconds in a degree. There's no reason to use fractions. This line is actually a straight line, 0 degrees. I'm using a protractor, so I have 80 degrees north, 80 degrees south, 9 degrees west, 9 degrees east. So we're wasting our time with all these minutes and seconds. This rebar is a little bit smaller. This is a cap on one of my rebars. It's got beaten up a little bit. This is 1/2 or 4/8, so it's a little bit smaller. This would be 5/8, which my surveyor used, and he puts it on here. Okay, so this would be a 5/8 rebar that they used. This line, if you use rebar, obviously you can use anything you want to mark the property corners, but you need something with a crossbar like this Phillips screwdriver head. I put it in the ground, and now I can see 80 degrees and 9 degrees. Okay, so this would confuse me as where my line is. And we're trying to use fractions. The only thing on this piece of plastic was my surveyor's name and his survey number. So we should be putting the degrees or some kind of crossbar on this. Now I'm also going to show you some of the problems I've had with this surveyor. He forgot the degrees. He put the phone line. He put the gas line. He put the sewer line. He put the water line, which is in the street. He didn't tell me where the water line is to the house. He also messed up on our power line. He didn't show the power line. Now I'm going to show you my lot developer. They did show the water line. This is a frost-free line right here. He stops right here. The water line goes to the front of the property. This is where the electrical is for the side of the house. It sticks out of the ground, and it also goes into the garage. He put a power pole right here, which there is, and he put the power to the house, but he didn't go all the way to here, to the outside of the house or to the garage. And then they didn't tell me, neither one of them. My neighbor used to work for the power company. His mom and dad own this property. He owns this property to this very day. He put a power line from the power pole through his mom and dad's property to his house. It took us about 6 months but the power company came out, put the power line in the street where it's supposed to be. This is where the power line was. It's now in the street to his property. Now I'm going to show you, this is my Nevada Avenue. This is our property right here. This is Highway 95. It goes about a mile. They used the whole section. It tells me I'm in section 19, Township 18 North, Range 25 East, MDBM, Mount Diablo Base Meridian. If it all explained to you that they use longitude and latitude at that site, so that's incorrect. In the meantime, Nevada slopes 1/2 of 1 degree from Highway 95 all the way to the railroad tracks. That allows for drainage. Okay. Now, in one of my videos, I showed you the California-Nevada border. There's no A.W. von Schmidt. He did not exist. You have a picture of him with a monument. The gods created it. The gods created longitude and latitude. They created township and range. I said township 17 and range, township 18. It should be range 17 for California, range 18 for Nevada. This is township 47. It stops at the Oregon border because they come down from the Willamette, so it's going to be south, but I don't know what their township is. But it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to explain to people, there's a monument with longitude 120, which would be this line, which should be township and range. They used latitude 42 for the border. They should have been doing township and range, so they did this all incorrectly. In the meantime, I'm going to show you what they did. There it is. Okay, a little bit out of order. When we bought this property, there was no ditches out here. I was going to do the gravel myself, but I needed a couple truckloads, so I got my lot developer to do it for me, and they had to go through the county to get a permit, which is stupid. We put the gravel on their property. They charged us $110, but they also told us no culverts because there was no ditches out here. In the meantime, this area flooded clear back in 1978. They were supposed to put, this used to be Tahoe Street. I explained all this before, but we're here, so I might as well get through it. They flooded the entire subdivision because this was supposed to be done. The subdivision was completed in 1950. In 1964, I found a map with Nevada telling the county to rip out this street and put these culverts in, and they didn't do it. So in 1978, the entire area flooded. They finally tore out the street. Took about 10 years, took about $100,000. They put in these 4 culverts. These are 4 feet deep, 7 foot wide, 7 foot wide. This is 3 foot wide. Okay, you can see that it's not going to fill up. This is even more water. You can see that 4 feet is plenty. And then there's another 2 feet above that with cement. And then there's more feet just to get to the highway. Okay. What happened here is, well, let me just change this up for just a sec. When this flooded, the county put culverts in every street corner. By the time we bought our house, it was buried. Nobody told us about the flood. We didn't know about the FEMA map. That's a FEMA map. In between, this is a whole different story. The engineers didn't like their neighbor. There's a senior center that was built at the same time we bought our property in 2006. They purposely flooded this grocery store's vacant lot. They didn't like him. This is a fake drain. This is meant to collect water, go through this pipe. This was plugged up recently. They flooded his vacant lot. They didn't care. The road department came out and buried a culvert, flooded one side of our street. We tried hiring attorneys. The attorneys don't seem to understand. They won't file a lawsuit. My attorney, I paid $4,000. He didn't file a lawsuit. There's no doubt the county paid up. These engineers should have gone to jail for the rest of their life. The commissioner should have gone to jail for the rest of the managers should have gone to jail for the rest of their life. If you change any, first of all, they're supposed to be useful and desirable per NRS. And NRS says if you change the streets, you're supposed to notify each homeowner, which they did not do. And it gets even worse from there. What they did, and this is why I have this article here, after all my complaints, and I went to the commissioners, which my attorney told me to do, I'm going to get away from that. This is an article written about this engineer telling the commissioners that Highway 50 and Highway 95 can overtop. We saw Highway 50 overtop, but Highway 95 would never overtop. In the meantime, they completely gutted everything here, got completely rid of it, tore it out at our taxpayers' expense, and they put in one culvert, 110 by about 10 foot culvert at our expense. And now it's even worse. They're trying to flood us out here. So I think that's about it. I'm looking for honest people that I need to hire an attorney that won't charge me. Every attorney I hire wants $10,000 after I've already spent. Every time I go to an attorney, they want money, and then they'll tell me they'll file a lawsuit, but I really doubt it. But I don't believe in religion. I've told you this. I don't believe in atheism. The gods obviously created a 361-degree circle. They do all this kind of stuff. There's good gods and there's bad gods. That's about it, I think. Thanks. Bye.